My name is Cynthia, and if you had asked me last week what I'd be doing on my father's 60th birthday, I'd have told you something simple. Maybe a nice dinner at his favorite Italian place. Candles, a cake, some family photos. Quiet, warm, real. But that's not how tonight turned out. Tonight, I booked Le Bernardin. Private dining room. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the glittering spine of Manhattan. Crystal chandeliers dripping gold light onto snow-white tablecloths. Waiters moving like silent shadows, pouring wine that costs more per glass than most people's weekly groceries. The kind of place where reservations vanish 6 months in advance. Unless you're someone they owe. And tonight, they owed me. I spent $3,000 to make this night perfect. Not because I had to. Not because I was showing off. But because my dad, the man who taught me how to tie my shoes, who stayed up with me during college finals, who cried when I graduated, deserved to feel like royalty on his 60th. He took one bite of his lobster, his favorite, closed his eyes, and smiled like he was tasting heaven. "This is incredible, sweetheart," he whispered, reaching across the table to squeeze my hand. "I can't believe you got us in here. Don't they have a waiting list longer than the Brooklyn Bridge?" I just smiled. Something like that. I didn't tell him I'd use my corporate account, the same one that had paid for 3 major events here in the last month. Events totaling over $500,000. Events I planned. Events I owned. Across the table, my older sister, Vanessa, 32. Razor-sharp blazer, designer heels, and a marketing director title she wore like a crown. Set her wine glass down with a clink that cut through the soft jazz. "Cynthia," she said, voice dripping with that tone I knew too well. The one that meant she was about to help me by humiliating me. "We need to have a serious conversation," I sighed. "On Dad's birthday?" "Especially on Dad's birthday." She gestured around the room like it was a crime scene. "Do you have any idea how much this is costing? This isn't some casual bistro. That bottle of wine? Probably more than your rent." Mom shifted uncomfortably in her navy dress, pearls glinting under the chandelier. "Vanessa, maybe now isn't the time." "No, Mom. Someone needs to say it." Her voice rose, drawing glances from the waiter arranging our next course. "Cynthia is 26. She lives in a studio in Queens. Works some vague tech-adjacent job none of us understand. And yet, she's always paying for dinners, buying gifts, acting like she's rolling in cash she clearly doesn't have." I kept my voice calm. "I do have money, Vanessa." Her husband, Marcus, suit crisp, cufflinks gleaming, investment banker to his core, let out a laugh, sharp, mocking. "Really? What's your annual?" Vanessa pulls in $180K plus bonuses. "I make $350K. We know what real money looks like." "Stop pretending." "I'm not pretending." Vanessa leaned forward. "It's embarrassing. You're going to drown in debt trying to keep up with people who actually have it." My little brother, Ethan, 24, fresh MBA, spreadsheets for breakfast, nodded gravely. "I track every dollar I spend. There's no way a freelancer can afford this." "It's mathematically impossible? Freelancer?" I blinked. "Since when am I a freelancer?" "Whatever you call it." Vanessa waved a hand. "The computer thing. The consulting. The mystery income. The point is, you need to stop this fantasy. Dad's birthday should have been at Ruth's Chris. Not here." Dad looked pained. "If this is too much..." "It's not too much for me," I said firmly. "This is exactly where I wanted to celebrate him." "With what money?" Vanessa snapped. Marcus pulled out his phone. "Prove it. Show us your bank balance. If you're so loaded, let's see the numbers." "Marcus, that's inappropriate," Mom said sharply. "No, it's necessary," Vanessa shot back. "She needs a reality check before she ruins herself trying to impress us." I looked around the table, at the people who raised me, cheered for me, hugged me at graduations. People who loved me, but had somehow decided I was one bad swipe away from bankruptcy. "You really think I can't afford this?" I asked. "We know you can't," Vanessa said. "The only question is, are you ready to admit it?" The waiter arrived with dessert. Dad's favorite chocolate souffle, perfectly risen, dusted with cocoa. He set it down gently, eyes politely avoiding our family drama. I reached into my purse. "Actually," I said, pulling out my card. "Let me prove you right." It was black, thick, heavy, titanium. The kind of card they don't send you. They invite you. $10,000 annual fee? No preset limit. The Centurion. Vanessa rolled her eyes. Oh, please. A fake black card? How much did that Etsy knockoff cost? It's not fake, Marcus said, smirking. Real ones require $250K in annual spend. They don't hand them out at Subway kiosks. I know what they require. I handed the card to the waiter. Full bill, please. Of course, Ms. Anderson. As he walked away, Vanessa shook her head like I was a lost cause. This is exactly what I mean. You're so desperate to look successful. You're using prop cards. Do you even know what credit card fraud penalties are? It's not fraud. Then why are you sweating? Ethan observed. You look like you're about to puke. I wasn't nervous about the card being fake. I was nervous about why it was going to get declined. And trust me, it wasn't the reason they thought. 5 minutes later, the waiter returned. Apologetic, confused. Ms. Anderson, there's an issue with your card. The table went silent. An issue? I asked, already knowing. It was declined. Vanessa burst out laughing. Oh my God, your fake card got declined. This is better than Netflix. Marcus joined in. A Centurion that doesn't work? That's next level delusional. I told you she was pretending. Vanessa turned to our parents, who looked like they wanted the floor to swallow them. Now we're all stuck with this bill because Cynthia wanted to play CEO for a night. Ethan shook his head. Jess, this is seriously messed up. Fake cards, lies. What's next? I wasn't lying, I said, but my voice was drowned in their laughter. The waiter leaned in. Ma'am, should I bring the bill to someone else? Give me a minute, I said, pulling out my phone. What are you doing? Vanessa giggled. Calling Amex to ask why your fake card bounced? I was about to reply when the door to our private room flew open. In walked Thomas Chen, general manager of Le Bernardin. Suit pressed, hair perfect, slightly out of breath, he looked straight at me. Ms. Anderson, I'm so sorry. I just heard about the payment issue. The laughter stopped. Cold. Thomas, I said calmly, is there a problem with the system? No, like system's fine. He glanced at his tablet. The issue is, we still owe you $500,000 from last month's catering contracts. Your card was declined because our accounting flagged it. We can't charge a client we're already in debt to. Silence, absolute. Heavy, thick enough to choke on. I could hear the jazz from the main dining room, the clink of silverware, the murmur of strangers enjoying their meals. But at our table, nothing. 500,000 up, Dad whispered. From the Morrison Gala, Thomas continued. The Goldman Sachs dinner, the UN reception, all booked through your company, Anderson Events. We've been trying to cut the check, but your accounting team asked us to hold until after quarterly review. I nodded. That's fine. Just comp tonight's dinner against the balance. Of course, Ms. Anderson. Again. My deepest apologies. He left. The silence stayed. Anderson. Events? Mom whispered. My company, I said simply. Your company? Vanessa repeated, voice barely there. The luxury event planning firm I've been building for the past 4 years. Marcus stared at me like I'd just announced I was an alien. You own an event planning company? I own the largest luxury event planning company on the East Coast. Corporate galas, high net worth weddings, cultural institutions, Fortune 500 clients? But you said you were a consultant, Ethan said. I consult on events. Technically accurate. Vanessa's face had gone ghost white. How large is largest? I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, turned the screen toward them. Last year's revenue, $47 million. This year, on track for $68 million. 68 million? Dad breathed. Dollars. Our client list, 12 Fortune 100 companies. 43 individuals with $50 million plus in assets. Exclusive planners for the UN, the Met Gala charity wing, and the New York Philharmonic. Mom's eyes widened. The cancer gala last month? The one that raised $12 million? I planned it. Marcus was frantically Googling. Anderson Events. Holy, you're Jessica Anderson. The Forbes 30 Under 30 Jessica Anderson. NYC's most influential event planner. Estimated net worth. $25 million. $28 million, I corrected quietly. As of last quarter, Vanessa looked like she was going to faint, plus the business value, I added. Real estate, investments, but you live in Queens, Ethan said, baffled. I live in a penthouse in Long Island City. Private terrace, helipad, helipad. Convenient for Hampton's events, the waiter returned. Popped open a bottle of Dom Perignon. Compliments of the house, Ms. Anderson. Manager Chen wanted to apologize again. As he poured, the silence stretched, thick with shock, guilt. My family was trying to rebuild their entire understanding of me. The quiet sister, the struggling daughter, into the woman sitting across from them, a self-made multimillionaire. Dad finally spoke, voice trembling. "Sweetheart, I'm so proud, but why the secrecy?" I looked at each of them because I was afraid of this. I was afraid that once you knew about the money, you'd stop seeing me and start seeing the bank account. That my opinions would suddenly matter more. That you'd treat me like a success instead of just Cynthia. Mom's eyes filled with tears. "You're our daughter. That's all that matters." "But would you have said that an hour ago, when you thought I was drowning in debt?" No one answered. "Because we all knew the truth?" Vanessa whispered. "I feel like an idiot. I spent the whole night lecturing you about money, when you're worth more than Marcus and I will make in our lifetimes." "You're not an idiot," I said softly. "You were trying to protect me. Even if you did it by publicly roasting me," Marcus was still scrolling. "You employ 200 full-time staff and 500 contractors?" 237 full-time, I corrected. "We just hired a new creative director." "You have employees?" Ethan whispered. "I have offices in Manhattan and the Hamptons, a warehouse in Queens, vendor networks nationwide." Vanessa let out a shaky laugh. "So we thought you were broke." "Not broke," I smiled. "Just not interested in flashing it." Thomas returned with a leather folder. "Ms. Anderson, tonight's charges are applied to your balance. Anything else I can arrange?" "Yes," I said. "Book the private wine cellar next month. Surprise anniversary party for my parents. 35 years deserves something epic. 50 guests?" he asked. "Make it 100. Extended family. Jazz trio. Mom's favorite flowers. Dad's chocolate souffle." Dad's eyes glistened. "But the cost, Dad," I said gently. "I planned $12 million events for strangers. Your anniversary? That's the most important event I'll plan all year. Cost doesn't matter." Vanessa exhaled. "Because you're rich. Because you're my family. And I love you." Dad raised his champagne glass, hands shaking. "To my daughter, who's apparently been quietly conquering the world while we worried about her rent." "To family," I corrected. "And to the people who love you, even when they think you're making terrible financial decisions." "To family," they all echoed, and for the first time all night. The laughter was real, warm, healing. The waiter left. The Dom kept flowing. The silence, gone, replaced by a storm of questions, half-laughed apologies, and the kind of stunned awe usually reserved for movie premieres or lottery winners. Vanessa, my big sister, who 5 minutes ago was ready to stage an intervention over my fake black card, was now staring at her phone like it held the secrets of the universe. "You planned the Rockefeller wedding?" she whispered. "The one with the floating orchids and the ice sculpture of their dog?" I nodded. That was me. 6 months of planning. $9 million budget. 0 hiccups. Marcus, her husband, Mr. I make $350K, so I know money, was scrolling so fast his thumb looked like it might fly off. "Anderson events, holy hell. You're the reason Bloomberg's foundation gala went viral. The Vanity Fair spread? That was you?" "Guilty." I smiled. Ethan, my baby brother, fresh out of business school and suddenly realizing his struggling sister had more employees than his entire firm, leaned forward. "The UN 75th? That was you. They said it was the most expensive private event in New York history." $12 million, I confirmed. 6 months. 5 countries worth of dignitaries. 1 very nervous caterer. And yes, I pulled it off without a single guest noticing the power outage in the East Wing. Crisis averted with backup generators and a very persuasive smile. Dad just sat there shaking his head, eyes wet. "All this time, you were building an empire, and we thought you were barely making rent." Mom reached across the table and took my hand. "Why didn't you tell us, sweetheart? We wouldn't have judged you. We would have celebrated you." I looked at her, really looked. Saw the worry lines, the love behind the confusion. "I know you would have tried not to judge, but money changes things, Mom, even between family. I didn't want your pride in me to come with dollar signs attached. I didn't want Dad's hugs to feel different. I didn't want Vanessa's advice to suddenly turn into flattery. Vanessa winced. Ooh, fair. I wanted you to love me for me, I said softly. Not for my bank account, not for my client list, not even for my damn helipad. Marcus actually chuckled. Okay, the helipad is still insane. It's practical, I laughed. Try getting from Midtown to a Hamptons Vineyard in 45 minutes during summer traffic. Not happening without rotor blades. We all laughed. Real, warm, unforced. Thomas Chen returned one last time, this time with a small velvet box. Ms. Anderson, he said, placing it gently beside my plate. A small token of apology and admiration from the house. I opened it. Inside was a gold-plated key. For the private wine cellar, he explained. Unlimited access. For life, consider it our way of saying thank you for not suing us when we accidentally served vegan caviar at the Goldman Sachs dinner. I burst out laughing. You remembered that? We still have nightmares. I turned to my parents. See? Even they know I'm not bluffing. Dad picked up the key, turned it in his fingers. So this is real. All of it. Every penny, I said. Vanessa exhaled, long and slow. I feel like I need to relearn my entire sister. You don't, I said. I'm still the girl who stole your lip gloss in high school. Still the one who cried during up. Still the one who calls you at 2 a.m. when I can't sleep. I just also happen to run a company that throws parties for billionaires and diplomats. Ethan grinned. So, next time I need VIP tickets to the Met Gala, already on the list. I winked. Mom wiped her eyes. I just wish you'd let us be part of it. All these years, we missed so much. You didn't miss anything, I said gently. You were there for every panic attack before a big pitch, every late-night coffee run, every time I called crying because a client hated my floral arrangements. You didn't know the scale, but you knew me, and that's what mattered. Vanessa reached over and squeezed my arm. Next time, maybe just lead with, I'm a multimillionaire, instead of letting us roast you in front of Michelin-starred waitstaff. Deal, I laughed. As long as you promise to keep looking out for me, successful or not. Always, she said, though maybe with a little less public humiliation next time. Where's the fun in that? I grinned. We left Le Bernardin just after midnight. The city glittered around us, cool, alive, humming with secrets and stories. Just like me, we walked to the parking garage together. No limos, no drivers. Just us, my family, talking, laughing, asking questions, planning the anniversary party, arguing over whether Dad's souffle should be served with vanilla bean ice cream or creme anglaise. Spoiler, it's creme anglaise. And as we reached our cars, Vanessa looped her arm through mine. You know, she said quietly, I spent my whole life trying to be the successful one. The one with the title, the salary, the corner office. And here you are, younger, quieter, humbler. And you've built something I can't even imagine. I stopped walking, looked at her. Vanessa, you're amazing. Your career, your drive, your brain, that's all you. I didn't build my company to outshine you. I built it because I love what I do. That's it, she smiled. Small, real, relieved. I know, I'm just proud of you, even if I spent tonight acting like a jerk. You weren't a jerk, I said. You were scared for me, and that's love. Marcus clapped me on the shoulder. Next family dinner, you're picking the place. And I'm bringing my resume? Maybe Anderson Events needs an in-house investment guy? Actually, I grinned. We do need someone to manage our new venture fund. Interested? His eyes lit up. Are you serious? Dead serious. You start Monday, Ethan groaned. Great. Now both my sisters are my bosses. The ending, the gift that wasn't on the menu. 3 months later, we threw the anniversary party. Le Bernardin's private wine cellar. 100 guests, jazz trio, Mom's favorite peonies, Dad's chocolate souffle, served with creme anglaise, of course. Halfway through the night, Dad pulled me aside. You know, he said, voice thick with emotion, tonight is perfect. The music, the food, the people, but the best part? The gift you gave us, I smiled. The party? He shook his head. No, sweetheart. The truth. You gave us the gift of seeing you. Really seeing you for the first time in years. Not the version we assumed. not the story we made up. But you, Cynthia, my daughter, brilliant, humble, fierce, loving. I hugged him tight. I just wanted you to be proud. I've always been proud, he whispered. But now I'm proud with my eyes wide open. Sometimes the most expensive gifts aren't diamonds or dinners. Sometimes the most priceless gift you can give your family is the truth, not polished, not performative, not packaged for applause. Just you. Flaws, fortunes, fears, and all. Because when they love you after they know the real story, that's when you know you're not just successful, you're home.